Now, one of the last great nomadic people of the planet, Fulani herders of West Africa, are now threatened by climate change, with frequent droughts ravaging the land. This next report gives you more on what the tribe has to put up with climate change.
After travelling hundreds of kilometres through the bush, this herd can finally take a sip of water. It has taken them weeks to get here. Having spent the dry season in Nigeria, Ibrahim and his family left in July to travel to the wet grasslands of Niger. Every year, they set off on the same expedition. Still, this period of hunger is a challenge for the animals. The journey has left them thin and at risk of dying of hunger or thirst.
During the dry season, we always have a water problem. It rained earlier this year, so the ponds and watering holes were full, but the drought came back. The watering holes dried up, and we had to fall back on this well to give water to the animals.
The Fulani travel across West Africa all year round in search of the greenest pastures to feed their livestock. Ibrahim and his clan are Fulani Wadabi. The Wadabi are famous for travelling extremely long distances with their herds. But their ancestral way of life is threatened by the successive droughts that have hit the Sahel. At the centre of the Fulani people's pastoral life are their animals.
Our life is linked to breeding. Everything we have is thanks to breeding, and we take everything from what we have bred, from the animals. Everything we do depends on them. They are essential to us.
Rawada is the leader of this clan. In just 10 years, he has lost half of his cows. He doubts his children will be able to live off the livestock for much longer.
I don't think we can carry on breeding anymore. With climate change, things are becoming more complicated for us, not to mention what will happen for the generations to come.
Every year in Niger, an equivalent of over 110,000 football fields of grassland disappear because of desertification and soil erosion. Thousands of herders like Barker have lost everything. Increasingly long droughts and expensive grains have killed his herd. He has moved to the city with his wife and 5 children to try his hand at another trade. He now looks after the house of a wealthy man in Maradi, Niger's second largest city, but he is barely earning €30 per month.
We have had a number of problems in the city. We sometimes struggle to eat, unlike when we lived in the bush with the animals. In the city, my salary is so low that it doesn't cover our needs.
Faced with an influx of thousands of Fulani towards the cities, Niger's main livestock union has launched various programs in response. In Burmo, where droughts have been severe over the last few years, this dairy farm has enabled some 300 women to remain close to their families. Hadiza makes cheese and yogurt, which is sold on the local market.
Before leaving, I sold my animals to pay for my children's schooling. But when I had no animals left, I left in order to help my family. After several tries, I realized it wasn't working and that I wasn't earning enough money. That is why I accepted this job.
Despite mounting difficulties, a number of Fulani herders refuse to abandon their livestock. Local radio station Marhaba is supporting those continuing with their annual migration. They broadcast daily bulletins with information about the safety of the various trails, weather forecasts, and the availability of pasture land. Broadcast in various languages, the radio station attracts some 200,000 listeners from Niger, where 85% of the population herd animals.
This information is extremely useful to us. It orients us during our journey towards free pasture land and where water is available. The radio helps us avoid certain obstacles.
At the end of the rainy season, once the animals have eaten their fill, the Wadabi Fulani celebrate Garawal, the salt cure. It is the most important moment of the year. Now that the animals are full, the herders can breathe a sigh of relief. From across the Sahel, families come together and reconnect. The men get ready and put makeup on. At nightfall, they dance to seduce their wives. A final celebration before they head back out to face new challenges. Soon, the grass will disappear and the ponds will dry up. This time, they will have to walk further in search of new pastures.